Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So as the channel starts to become more popular and I start getting more subscribers and the word spreads, I'm going to start having more organized sessions where maybe every Sunday I'll talk about things to look forward to in the upcoming week. Throughout the week I'll talk about things that are happening either in politics or economics that are changing stocks to look out for, especially any new dividend stocks that might come out, or even crypto to look out for, because there's a lot of chat out there about all kinds of crypto, even the little guys like SafeMoon and other little things that keep coming out on different apps. For now, I wanted to talk about something crazy that happened to me just last night, and then discuss some of the new things that happened last week that really threw crypto out of whack. So as you know, it's Ramadan right now, and I was up at 3:30 to eat before sunrise so that I could start my fast. So of course, as soon as I wake up, one of the first few things I always do is of course open up Robinhood before I even get out of bed. And I like to see where things are just because it's almost habitual now. So I open up Robinhood and this is the first thing I literally see. I was just like, what is happening? So you can see it's 3:40 a.m. I open up my phone and I have a jump. So this jump is actually from 176, 174, 176 to 196. So I'm literally up 24K after hours, which of course at this time of the night could really only be crypto, right? Because stock markets are closed right now. So then I start scrolling around and I don't really see anything. Like Bitcoin isn't up like crazy, Litecoin isn't up by anything insane, and those are the only two crypto I have on Robinhood. So then I couldn't really tell where this 20K gain was coming from. And as I'm frantically, going up and down trying to figure out what's happening, boom, 505K. I'm apparently up 332K in 6 minutes. You see that, right? I was just at 340, now I'm at 346. You could tell I'm taking consecutive screenshots because I am seriously freaking out. Now my buying power is just 4,300, which is from some of the things I just sold last week. But this increase would have to mean that the two Bitcoin I own must have gone up by about 160K each, right? Something around that. But the Bitcoin did not go up by 160K. Bitcoin hasn't even hit 100K. Litecoin did not go up. Litecoin hasn't hit anything over 1,000. So it was pretty shocking. And as I frantically looked through all of it, I couldn't figure out what's happening. So if we actually jump to the end here, there's a video recording. Let me see. Oh, actually, it's not in here. Let me play the video that popped up when I was trying to figure out what's happening. And keep in mind that while this is happening, I am literally trying to figure out what could have caused all of this. I'm jumping around. I'm trying to figure out like all my friends who own crypto. I'm trying to hit them up, see like, hey, did you guys see what's happening? Like, is this happening to you guys too? So here's the video recording of my screen. Right here, boom. So we can see it now. Wait, I'm in the way. Hold on. Let me put it on this side. And let's start all over again. So we're going to go back here. Okay, so I started recording when it hit 500K, right? And as you can see, I'm moving the cursor back to see where the jump was from. So 174, I slowly move it forward. So you can see that that's the increment that occurred, and all of a sudden it was at, of course, 196, which the same 196 line jumped all the way up to 500. Other than that, none of my stocks, of course, none of the stocks are going to change. None of these can change right now because it's literally the middle of the night. So I keep going. I scroll down to the crypto portion where you can see nothing has happened. There's nothing here that would add up. I have two Bitcoins, so two of them at 54 something is about 110K. And then I have 25 Litecoin at 250 each. That's still not that much. That's about 6K, right? So then where is the rest of this massive increment coming from? Couldn't figure it out. No idea. Literally no idea. It was just insanity. I jumped over to Bitcoin. It was at 54,634. There's no sight of what's happening. So then where did this 505K glitch come from? Well, it was hopefully a foreshadowing of maybe something that's to come from one of the penny stocks I'm going to be diving into, or have been diving into, because I already hold a couple of penny stocks in high amounts in anticipation of them skyrocketing one day. But this was, you know, pretty saddening, if anything. So as you can see now, time moves on. 3:46. I go eat and stuff. Come back. I look at my phone now. Boom! It starts undoing this very weird vertical glitch that occurred. I wish it was reality, but unfortunately it was not. Came back down to 181, then 191. You know, it's still kind of jumping around, right? So I'm not actually up 20k. I'm not up 20k on anything at that time. And then by 5:28, things went back to normal, and that vertical line disappeared, and I was back to where I'm actually supposed to be, which is about the 175k range, because of shit that happened last week, right? So last week, what happened? Well, Biden and his genius mouth decided to open up and come up with all kinds of ideas. Now, you know, as far as political standing goes, I mean, I've voted Democrat, I've voted Republican. I'm not really a huge player on which team to go on per se. I go with the people that are saying the right things and look like they're saying something that would be most significant for me. Now, you know, lately there have been a lot of leftist things that are happening, right? Gender is a spectrum, things about how we can have genetically male players entering female sports and vice versa, and stuff like that. And of course, the Biden administration is on board with that, right? So we constantly see the Republican administration kind of trying to fight back with that, because this is not the reality we should be changing our world into, because it's not a reality, right? So on top of that, of course, it's a very common thing to see with the Democratic Party to be just throwing money out everywhere, right? So we've received back-to-back checks nonstop, right? And people that are homeowners are no longer able to do anything to get their rent out of their tenants. People that are unemployed are getting so much money they don't even care to be employed anymore, because they're just going to sit back and relax, and so on. The list is pretty endless. So what did Biden do this last week? Well, this last week, Biden decided that he was going to come up with a genius idea of raising the capital gains tax. That's a capital gains tax hike. Now, it's okay if you don't know much about this, but generally speaking, I want to show you this article by CNBC so you can see the association they have, where they're trying to say that the Biden capital gains tax hike would only hit 0.3% of households. Okay, sure. Right? He's one of the White House advisors, so he would want to make it seem like it's not going to hit that many people. But hey, if we're working with something that's not really going to impact that many people, then why even make it a law? Why pass this, right? President Joe Biden's top economic advisor defended a plan to raise the capital gains tax as neither too large a burden nor a barrier to business investment. Well, that's not what it seemed like last week. So if we go back on the 1 week chart over here, you can see what happened. Right, so I was all the way up to 181 in all reality. If we look at the 1 month hike, right, I was actually, it's taking a little bit of time to load. I'm not sure why. Robin is always a little slower on computers. It's weird. April 17, April 16, I was pretty close to hitting 200k with nothing new having been bought. And then just last week, you know, it just everything sank. And now just this week, April 25th, 26th, things have started to come back up a little. But what caused this sinking, and what even proposed this sinking to occur? Well, this capital gains hike basically is a massive tax on what you make from selling your stocks and crypto and anything else that made you money. So here, though Dees did not mention a specific rate, his appearance Monday during a White House briefing lent credibility to reports that the administration will seek to hike the capital gains rate to 39.6%. Why even play around at that point? Just call it 40% for households making more than $1 million. Now, this making more than $1 million part may not affect you or me, because I'm not there yet. But what we make in stocks is affected by those millionaires. Think about all those people that own Bitcoin. When Elon Musk, a billionaire, bought Bitcoin skyrocketed. Right? It jumped up so much, and that really helped every one of us little people that own any Bitcoin whatsoever. Stocks really only make massive shifts when millionaires buy into it, and millionaires buy into stocks because then they can profit back out of it when they sell it. So of course, when this proposal started making a lot of noise, people sold their Bitcoin, right? People were like, if you're going to tax me so heavily later on, I might as well sell it right now and take what I have, right? So Bitcoin started actually to sink down quite a bit. So if we look straight at Bitcoin right now, last week, it went from, actually it was at 64 at a point. So here we are, as about around 64. It broke 64 April 14th. And then since April 14th, it's been 2 weeks. It just plummeted. It actually looked like it was gonna die, like go down to like 30. It came down to 53, came down to 47. So that's a big drop to go from 64 to even 44. That's 20k per Bitcoin that you lose, right? Now my average buying price is 48, right? So I was in a negative when it hit down to 47, right? That was pretty scary stuff. Thankfully it's been coming back up, which of course, you got to be strong hands when you're playing with Bitcoin, because that's kind of what's going to happen. But this gain hike thing, hopefully, as far as I know, it hasn't officially passed yet, but hopefully it will not. There's a lot to be expected if it does pass. Now, think about it. If you're a multimillionaire and you would be taxed 40% on any stocks you sell, then what would you actually put your money into? Well, one of the immediate thoughts that might come to your mind is to put all your money into dividend stocks, right? Because you don't actually need to sell dividend stocks to make money off of them. You just invest into dividend stocks. They'll grow over time. They become bigger and bigger, or maybe they stay stable, but you will keep getting your dividends. Now, as a multimillionaire, you can actually make a nice 100k a year income just off of dividend stocks. You just buy enough of anything and you'll get high dividends. That is something that I am anticipating. I look forward to holding on to more dividend paying stocks, as many of them as I can, before they skyrocket, so that I could get that gain as well as gain the dividends from them. That's like the best double profit you can actually gain out of a dividend stock, right? So you guys know some of the major dividend stocks I do own. Something funny here too, I have AMC that's going up quite a bit, so that's pretty interesting. The meme stocks have been skyrocketing this week as well. As far as the dividend stocks are concerned, I've got all these guys from IVR down, right? So IVR down to Tencent, even actually just up to Tencent. Yeah, this entire screen is actually my dividend stocks right here. So from IVR down to TCEHY. These are all the different stocks I own that have dividend payments. CIM is skyrocketing, so that's like a really nice profit right there, right? Because I have 1,000 of it, so it must have gone up by $1, and I'm up $1,000. Plus, this guy pays really good dividends. So do these guys. So this actually is in order of who pays the most dividends to lowest dividend percentage. And IVR is actually one of the cheapest dividend stocks that pays a really high percentage. So if you own enough of it, you'll actually make a really good bang out of your buck. These are all guys that I look forward to holding on to for longer, profiting off of as much as I can, and then eventually selling if they ever look like they're about to sink for any reason. Then you buy back in. Now, this capital gains hike will mess up people that are helping us make these positives. I'm not the reason CIM went up. CIM went up because extremely rich people bought into it. Any of these stocks, when they ever go up, it's because extremely rich people or enough middle and below $1 million people put money into it. Like Apple, for example, often goes up because the whole world buys Apple products, right? So then of course it goes up. Well, if you have one millionaire or one multimillionaire or a bunch of people that have enough money, that all adds up to the same thing. It's a single person or that group. Either way, it's big money. Now, if you lose the millionaires, then you lose a lot of the issues, a lot of the gains that you can actually get in any of these stocks over here. So that's something to watch out for. Keep in mind, over here, there's another news on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin forms Black Thursday buy signal. Why it could lead to 100K, right? So there's Bitcoin has returned to the previous week's level at the time of writing. Bitcoin trades 54,882 with a 1.9% profit in the daily chart. In the weekly and monthly chart, Bitcoin shows sideways movement. The bears seem to have failed in their assault, and Bitcoin moves toward new highs. Right, so it's kind of like starting all over again when it finally broke 50K, then it finally broke 60K, that kind of stuff. And it is doing a really nice job. So there's a lot of analysts out there that talk about sell and buy signals, right? That's what the red and green is all about. It's when it's at a good new high, it's a nice time to sell. When it dips, you buy back in, goes up again. You can keep doing that. You can keep buying and selling if you want to. It's really up to you. A lot of people prefer to just hold on because the fees aspect will cut out quite a bit of your earnings, but at the same time, it might not, depending on how big the jump up and down is. They go on to say the CEO of DTAP Capital, Tapiero, has said Bitcoin is still in its early and could continue to rise up to 100K mark during 2021. Right, so it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. It's gonna keep going, and it's very much something that I'm hopeful for, and I'm holding on to my 2 Bitcoin for. I will be selling it today, actually, if it goes up to a really nice high. Because today's been a pretty interesting day, as you can see. Bitcoin is doing pretty good today, right? It's been pretty stable ever since this first few jumps this morning. Same thing with Litecoin. Litecoin's hit 260 just now, right? So it's also slowly ascending. That's doubled, right? So one of the things that I've been thinking about is that it's always cheaper stocks that make you more money, right? That's something you have to keep in mind. Like penny stocks are beautiful because a 50-cent stock can become $1 really easily, and that's a massive double of your investments, right? That's a doubling of your investment. Think of this right here. Instead of buying 2 Bitcoins, if I had put 100K into Litecoin at the same average price of $130, I would have doubled that right now, right, to 200K. So buying cheaper things is where you can actually really amplify your money. So I'm gonna wait for Bitcoin to hit whatever high it's gonna hit, take that out, probably put it into Litecoin, because Litecoin is at a cheaper phase where it's slowly approaching towards 400. It's got more room for my money to grow, basically. If you think about it like that. It's very much obvious that Litecoin will eventually hit $1,000, and if I can grab it at a good enough price, then that would be a wonderful investment. I'm just looking to do like a reset in a sense, so I want to get rid of my Bitcoin, get rid of my Litecoin, and then wait for a massive dip at some point and buy back in with only Litecoin, and then let my money grow with Litecoin doubling up, because clearly it has doubled in my time, right? In the time that I've held it, it went up from an average of 130 to 260, which is wonderful, right? That's a 100% gain right there. So those 100% gains are what I personally live for. Look forward to more videos coming about how to invest into things that maybe you want to just invest and not do this day trading kind of thing. More crypto things like SafeMoon and other little boys that are out there that are making people a lot of money quick, and then some people are even losing out money when they're not well educated on how to do this. More about news related stuff that's impacting what's happening with our stocks and so on. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Let's hope that 500K little imagery that I got in the middle of my night becomes a reality for all of us one day, and let's keep investing.